We are now.
Balls. It's the first canonic thing we've said now.
Oh
You're
man,
welcome.
here we go. But we're back. We're not in person, but we are live. The internet is better at my house. The cameras are better at my house and everyone else's own house, but the vibes are not as good.
The microphones are debatable. I don't know. Those DJI mics are pretty nice.
They are pretty nice.
It was easy to audio edit. I will say that. But here we are. We're all back home. We all survived the Boston blizzard. But how's everyone doing today?
Doing good. I mean, still, unfortunately, not out of the snow just yet. Unfortunately, I went from snow to more snow. But yeah, it was an adventure to say the least. Getting home from Boston, I actually went straight from Boston to Brooklyn to go to a Nets game on my way to Jersey. So I really just extended the trip for funsies. Made it even longer than it needed to be because of snow. But no, I was able to smuggle my camera in, take some cool pictures. So it was a good way home, or adventure home. And I've been missing Rocket League ever since. So it's good to be back on the show and talking about it because this is our fix in the meantime until the next set of opens.
Yep. Red, what about you?
It's been good. Unfortunately, I'm feeling a little under the weather. I think the Boston blizzard took a lot of energy out of me. The stress of trying to get a flight home. But we're here. We're back home at least. Rematch is just still in the full swing of things. So I've been staying busy.
Oh yeah.
It took me at least the entirety of until the end of Sunday of rest in order to like fully feel like I've recouped myself as a human being from the entirety of that trip.
Was it a great memory? Yes. Was it a lot of energy expended? Yes.
And like I like think about like I mean we had some plans. I won't say exactly what they were, but we had plans to go to a party Sunday night. And like we didn't do that. We kind of just hung out at the B&B with everybody. Like, could you imagine how much more tired we would have been if we were,
dead? We would be dead.
Yeah.
I'd actually still possibly be asleep from the time I got home.
Yeah.
I've just been in a coma, in my nocturnal state or whatever the term is. What is it? Hibernated state.
There you go.
Yeah.
There we go. We get there.
But here we go. Hello and welcome back to the Boost Overball podcast. To listeners new and old, hello and welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Kyle, K-Cube in the top left. We got Red in the top right, and we have Quilly in the bottom. On today's episode, we'll be kicking off with Roster Mania. We'll be talking about all of the moves that have happened so far, giving our thoughts on them, what they mean for their respective regions, what the outlook is for those teams now in their, sitting now that we're halfway through the season. From there, we will talk about the changes upcoming for Season 22 in-game in Rocket League before finishing off with an update on the botting and DDoS epidemic. But before we jump into the episode for today, Hercules announced on Twitter, I'm so excited to share my episode of Vibe Check with ESPNW and ESPN, which is now currently live on Disney+. She said, thank you to ESPN for choosing me to represent the women of RLCS. This is not only the beginning. This is Rocket League. Enjoy. So a huge congratulations to Herc. Big for women in esports, big for women, big for RLCS in general, big for Rocket League. Congratulations to Hercules. Well-deserved. And, I haven't had time yet, but I'm looking forward to going and watching it. So shout out to Hercules, and let's jump right into it. So we're still going to play the intro for our audio listeners. We're going to do the Reds roster rumors, but it's going to be a more slower paced one because we have a lot to go through. There's a lot to talk about with each roster move. So we'll be doing it region by region, and we will start out with NA. So Red, in order to save your voice, I can kind of go through some of these, and then you can chime in with your analysis on what we think and then how we think they're going to do. So we're going to go through everything for NA, and then we'll talk about it as a whole. So Frosty is set to join Gen G in place of Justin. Space Station Gaming drops Chronic and picks up Scribbles, or Zach. I don't know what he's going to go by now.
It's Zach now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Very adamant they're very adamant about him being called Zach. I don't know. I don't know what that's up with, but we'll find out. I guess Scribkep is officially dead.
We'll see about that. But they pick up Zach and or Scribbles out of retirement. Foot, and this is where, in my opinion, it gets interesting. Foot drops Sosa. They lose Frosty to Genji, and so in response, they pick up Chronic from Space Station and Justin from Foot. Because of the 2/3 rule, they will now forfeit all of their RLCS points that they've accumulated in Split 1 and will start from 0. Notably, they will also have to go through the full open qualifier bracket to make it into the main event. We also have Strictly Business picking up Aqua to play alongside Relating Wave and Crispy. So, all that being said, Red, I'll start off with you. What does this do to the NA landscape, and how do you think these teams fared?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing we can talk about is this Foot roster, right? Losing Sosa and Frosty. This is a team that was very close to qualifying for the Boston Major in competition with SSG. And I think they kind of accepted the fact that they weren't going to be able to beat SSG on points, and they knew they needed to make a change in the roster. This is a team that is, barring the most generational split 2 run we've ever seen from a North American team, not including NRG. This will be a team that will be competing in the LCQ that will probably get that NA 5 spot for Worlds. Would be my best guess. It will still be competitive, but this could be a good roster to see. A very veteran-based roster, right? Getting Chronic and Justin, 2 very seasoned vets of the scene, along with excuse me, along with Cheese. I mean, it's going to be a very interesting team to see. I'm curious to see how Justin works in that roster. A lot of question marks, I think, are going to come from that roster. I think there was a lot of questions on whether or not Justin may retire before this change was happening.
He tweeted it might be time.
He tweeted it might be time. There was a YouTube video made on Justin's top 10 plays before retirement, and everyone kind of thought it was over for him, but glad to see he still got a little bit of fire for him. SSG, obviously glad to see Scribbles come back out of retirement. He did what he needed to do IRL to get more comfortable, whether it was with his studies, with just responsibilities in real life. Props to him for being able to step away and handle that. And he feels like he has the time to come back and found a good team to join, which I think with the addition of Scribbles, this SSG roster is going to be very competitive going into this next split. I wouldn't be surprised to see them make a couple make one of the grand finals. I'll give them one. It's going to come down to the bracket, but I think there could be some shakeup, but realistically they are going to be solidified 4 seed for the NA region. And then to no surprise at all, Genji making a change. I'm kind of surprised it was Justin, but not. Realistically, that could have been made. There was 1 or 2 people being kicked off that roster, and it was either going to be Justin or it was going to be Bear. They weren't going to kick Rise just because he region transferred. He won't be able to go back to EU. And
I think he can. I think they may have
allegedly.
changed that. Because Astral and Seiko both said LFT any region. I mean, Seiko is now off the board, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I think that maybe they.
I wonder if you can, but you also forfeit that team's RLCS points, maybe.
Well, I don't think GK would let that happen because then GK would be SOL.
Yeah, but I think, and then obviously, we see Strictly Business come back into the scene. Relating Wave, Crispy, notably missing, I believe the third for the old Strictly Business roster was it CMOS? I can't remember who the old.
Yeah.
I think it was CMOS.
CMOS, Crispy, Relating Wave. So
Aqua
CMOS
coming in, another good bubble team. This is a team that I think we will see compete for that top 8 position in NA. Will they make a top 6, top 4? It could be. We've seen crazier happen, and we saw it happen with the at the time 100X now Lotus 8 roster when it came to the kickoff weekend. But do I think this changes the NA landscape too much? Unfortunately, excuse me. Unfortunately, not really. Unfortunately, but fortunately, you got Energy. They're going to be the 1 seed. Shopify, and Foot competing for that 2-3. SSG 4. realistically, the only thing up in the air is going to be who's going to get that LCQ spot. Right now, your front runner, we're looking at not the SSG, sorry, the foot. I could see M80 making a good case for it in their most recent form.
Maybe Dig.
You could see a Dig out there. Even a Lotus 8, if they if they continue to keep their form. But realistically, as with this now very experienced foot roster getting put together, I see them as the shoe in for the LCQ spot for Worlds.
Yeah, I don't think Gen G is a bad shout either for it, but I do think this is a very confusing move because obviously you get the names in Chronic and Justin, but you are forfeiting all of your points, and you were sitting at NA5. You were literally right in the mix of being in World's contention. So to not just get rid of one but two players and just throw all those points away is quite a questionable move. But I mean, it's their decision to make, and we're just here to watch it. And so all the power to them. Obviously, Justin, one of the biggest names in history of RLCS. So obviously, everyone's going to be rooting for him. He's going to be a fan favorite regardless. But yeah, it's a confusing move, but a move nonetheless. But yeah, Gen G, obviously, I don't know if they get better or adjacent. Frosty's definitely has abilities, but we also know some questionable character concerns. But I haven't heard anything this season so far. So assuming everything is all good in the hood there, Gen G is looking like they could maybe not have a resurgence, but like a little bit more life, a little bit of a pulse there. Maybe get a little bit deeper than what they were previously, because obviously the floor is at the floor. It's actually below ground level right now.
Yeah, it's like anything up for Gen G is pretty straightforward, I think, at this point, because your performance in Open 3 was by far below expectations. Not even making it to Saturday, right? They didn't even make it to Saturday.
They got grouped.
Yeah, they got grouped. So.
But yeah, that and the SSG signing of Scribbles, Zach, I think is rather interesting because obviously he said he's retired, so I mean you'd expect him to be done from the game completely. But we did see him on
I mean he
a non-org team in the first opens.
He still made like he was still top 10 in MMR for like ranked 2s and stuff.
Yeah, he was still grinding, and we saw him in all three of the opens in the last split. So he was still active and at least keeping the legs loose, for lack of a better term, because it's a thumb-based game. But they were, yeah, he was still out there and keeping ready. So it seemed like he was working his way back into serious play, and we can hope only but the best because huge Scribbles fan ever since the Frosty days. So hoping this works out for the 2/3 of the Snowmen.
So the last point before we jump over to EU, to our next region, is currently the points. Space Station sit at 23 in 4th. Foot previously held that 5th spot with 17 points. Now they're at 0. Gen G will now move into that 5th spot with 11 points. Dignitas with 10. Lotus 8 with 9. M80 with 8. So Foot now has 11 points of ground to catch up, like to make up, to move back into that 5th spot. But more importantly, Space Station now has a 12-point gap over the team that's chasing them, right? So as long as they continue to evenly place with Gen G, Dignitas, Lotus 8, M80, and Foot, they will maintain that 4th spot, right? And because not winning the kickoff land, it's only 4 spots for NA. So it kind of seems like, well, even if Gen G and Foot are better teams, this split, it just seems like there is too little time to make up the gap. Although that being said, we've mentioned it. We mentioned it this time last year. The points in the second split are more, so they're weighted more heavily. So I think that maybe was a contributing factor to allowing Foot to make this change. But it's still it's a ballsy choice by them to forfeit 17 RLCS points. So we'll have to wait and see what happens on that one. But moving across the pond to EU, first and foremost, we have Team Vitalite, and that is going to be Radosin, Mitzer, and Alpha 54, the return of World Champion Alpha. Maybe potentially out of contract hell. I don't know. Next up, we got GK, and it was announced that they chose to drop Seiko from this roster, and they are set to pick up Tempo from Man City, and Man City, in response to this, are set to sign Seiko to fill in the spot that Tempo is leaving by going to GK. It was also announced that Magnifico would now be the roster of Atomic, Yujin, and Nico. And then notably, players in EU that are LFT. They're still looking for a team. Still out of the loop on this one are Juke, Tox, Raziers, and Astral. I missed Sosa and NA as a notable player that's still LFT, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with Sosa. But not as many moves in EU, but some big ones, right? Like some of the big boys are making moves. Like GK made a major. They made it farther than a lot of people thought that they would. They made it out of their group, and they still make a move, right? And Man City, right on the precipice, they were a tiebreaker away with GK. So swapping Seiko for Tempo in terms of at least experience might help them, because they've been reverse swept before. But I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. Does it make either of these teams better, or is it kind of just a lateral move?
It's definitely a weird one. I think part of it is just a consistency thing. We saw this with Seiko at the major group stage. Seiko, lights out. I mean, he played phenomenally, but then when it came to playoff time, and Seiko kind of disappeared. So it could have been a consistency thing, just building at. We just really didn't see it until the very end there. Could have been a playstyle chemistry thing. We like this GK roster was very inconsistent when it came to Open 1, 2, and 3. We saw it with the results, and I don't blame them for looking for a change even after making it to Championship Sunday. But or not sorry, Championship Sunday, Saturday, making out of groups. But it is. I'm curious to see how Tempo slots in there. Obviously, as well as Seiko, a very veteran player there. I'll be curious to see how he plays on this Man City roster, who has been so close multiple times to going the distance in some shape or form, beating top teams, losing game sevens. Will this be the edge they need? When it comes to experience, I say yes, but when it comes to playstyle and compatibility, well, I guess we shall see. And then moving on to Magnifico, Atomic, Fusion, Nico, another bubble team that has been floated around in EU quite a bit. Kind of is similar standing to a team like Lotus A, M80, in NA. They're always just right there knocking on the door. They may have their if a bracket goes their way, they have a breakout performance. They may crest the top 4, top 6, but they're, especially with how deep the EU region is currently, it's kind of hard to see them really breaking their way into those major contentions positions.
They're also going to lose all their points too.
Yep, they would also lose all their points, which previously Magnifico was sitting in 7th with 13, just 2 points behind Man City and 8 points behind GK. So not the worst case scenario there for Magnifico. You were already kind of assuming that you were going to be a LCQ team, most likely, just with how it's been panning out. Barring a GK disaster class for the next 3 splits. So I think this is very similar, I think, to what we always see with Foot, where they're just kind of building for that LCQ. If they can make the miracle run and make the major, great. But realistically, they're gonna build for the LCQ, build for that world spot, and go from there. And then Team Vitalite, we finally get to see Alpha 54 back. I mean, he's been tearing up in the EU scene forever. It seemed we thought maybe he was still in contract purgatory. We could have swore that man was locked up in a contract somehow, some way. But it's glad to see him finally getting back into the scene, alongside Radosin, very well known, experienced pro, world champ.
They won a Worlds together.
They won a Worlds together. This is a great duo. Bringing in a Youngblood and Mitzer too. I mean, this will be, I think, a very competitive roster. Definitely looking forward to seeing how they compete in Split 2. And
They
you know,
also
who knows?
get to keep all of Gentle Bench's RLCS points
Mhm.
because they kept
Which,
2 of the people.
you know, albeit not a lot of points. It's only 5, but it's better than 0.
And they've now surpassed Magnifico.
And they have now surpassed Magnifico. And you know, like we said earlier, in Split 2, points are, you know, the positioning is worth a lot more. Placement's worth a lot more. There's a bigger gap between each spot because there's more points involved. So, you know, could this team potentially eke their way into a spot at Paris? We'll see.
Yeah. The only thing I got on, this close to the snipe of the century. I said Abjack was going to be gone, but I let my appreciation for Seiko as a player blind me to. It was very obviously going to be him.
Well, I mean, he's just like the only non-Englishman, right? So, like, maybe English comms were like tough for him. I mean, his English is very good. Like, we've talked to him before.
Good, yeah.
We've heard him
Yeah.
speak. So, but I mean,
It's definitely it's still a thick French accent on him, and obviously I don't want to say politics into it, but their content streamer is also Abjack's girlfriend, so it's a little bit it's a little hard to cut one and keep the other one. You know, I feel like that also could play into it, but I don't want to like get into that type of water. But I also did say CRR would be a good snipe, and I feel like Tempo is a Kirkland brand CRR. I feel like that's not that bad of a shout. I feel like I damn near pretty much predicted the whole thing. I feel like if I put a little bit of a stronger thinking cap on, I just went a little bit too. I jumped the shark too much, I think is what I did. Yeah, no, I think it's a great move. Seiko, I think it's more of a chemistry thing than anything because, and no, we talked about it. The hot takes video where each player would they let him say like a hot take. Seiko sounded depressed in that video. I'm not gonna lie. That guy, so like he was literally like hunched over saying Mina sucks. That was pretty much what it was. But like in the most sad and like I don't want to be here way. I don't. It just seemed like his vibe wasn't up. But obviously he was great in groups. Was not too great after that. But yeah, he was the one that got the boot. Almost had it. I said Appjack. Should have just used my brain. It was obviously Seiko all the way. But yeah, Man City is a good pickup for him. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Man City does and GK does because I think this is a great move for both teams.
Yeah, I've been high on the Man City roster all season, very similar to how I was for, I guess, Virtus Pro now was redacted, but I like Tempo a lot as a player. I think that he brought, you know, a tremendous amount of skill and defense to that Man City roster, so I'm interested to see how he will slot in on GK, especially because Appjack tends to either play first or third man most often. But you know, we'll have to wait and see on that one. But I think that this is one of the rare could be good for both. Maybe you lose a little bit in mechanics from Tempo to Seiko, but Seiko definitely has the experience. The like, he's more even keeled, I would say. Can kind of help calm the nerves of like your edge B and acro to, you know, maybe potentially help them close out some more series down the line. So I think that it could be good for both of these teams. But last but certainly not least in terms of regions for now, and that is Sam. Secret announced the signing of Suko, and they drop KV1 in the process. Amethyst is then quick to announce the signing of KV1. So first and foremost, this has been a big fall for KV1. He goes from being on Furia last year to now he's on Amethyst.
Secret.
Well, Furia to Secret to now.
Yeah,
Amethyst.
he ended last season on Furia, was dropped. Secret picked him up, and then he got dropped from Secret, and now he's with Amethyst. So, you know, he's falling down the Sam order in terms of teams, but you know, this Amethyst squad is now 19 points out of a region spot for Paris. Secret is 16 points out, so it's an uphill battle for both of these teams trying to make a top 2 spot. So realistically, is this a move in the margins? Do you see this making any difference for Secret or for Amethyst in chasing down MIBR or Furia?
realistically, the way I see this is it's a handshake on, hey, let's change something up. But realistically, it's going to be Furia. It's going to be MIBR as your top two, especially with a 16-point gap for Worlds. Now, this will be again a very similar situation. These are two teams that will most likely be competing for the LCQ spot. And I think that's where the big change comes through. Now, notably for Paris, right? You start fresh, you start clean for Paris. So you could come out strong and take that spot for Paris, but realistically for Worlds, you're not taking a world spot. That's just how it's going to be. You're going to have to fight for that LCQ, and this is what that change is for. It's a quick, just making your last adjustments that you can before Worlds comes around. That way you can get time to build that roster together, practice, run the next split, maybe make Paris major, then get yourself ready for Worlds wherever it's at in NA.
Wherever it is, we don't know.
Was hoping for an announcement. That would have been real cool.
Would be nice.
Oh
Would
well.
have been nice.
Oh well.
Speaking of communication,
You think they announce it during? I feel like they got to announce it online. I feel like there's no way they announce it in Paris.
No,
One, because
there's
that's
not
so
enough time.
far from now. Yeah, it's so far from now. And two, I don't think they would like that. Like, hey,
Yeah.
world's gonna be in North America.
I mean, it's already known it's gonna be in North America, pretty much. It's the, it's the give and take.
1 and 1. Yeah.
Generally,
could see
at
it
least
being
that's like they could like switch it up and do like, hey, we're coming back to Paris for Worlds. Like I could see like a world where that happens. I mean, like they're gonna print money having
Yeah,
a
this is
land in
true.
Paris.
I mean, I just hope do it after like Open 4. Do it like during like grands of one of the Open 4s or
If
something.
you're gonna
I
break
don't
my
know.
heart, at least do it sooner, so I can
Do it
coast.
sooner. Do it sooner so I know not to buy plane tickets.
Exactly.
Like,
or so that we do buy plane tickets.
or so that we do buy plane tickets.
But anything else that you guys want to talk about the roster changes, about the any of these new teams before we jump to our next topic?
Good here.
Okay. Changes coming to season 22. In my opinion, weirdly, hotly contested. A flip reset indicator was announced, and it was confirmed by Leth on Twitter. So I'm in the clear to say this stuff. But the flip reset indicator is only visible to the individual player. It will also be available in director modes. Like if you're spectating a match, you'll be able to see it, much like the boost of the individual player. But you will only be able to see your flip reset indicator on your car in game. And I was told that it will be a visual cue like a spark, and there will be a sound cue as well. I don't know. That is not fully confirmed yet, but that is what we have heard. The like gray white circle indicator that people have been showing on Twitter, I don't think that's what it's going to look like. I think that's what. Yeah, it's a feature in Bacchus mod already to have that. Like you can do that, and that's what it looks like. So I think that people are like maybe impression farming a little bit because I don't think that's what it's going to look like. It's going to be much more polished than that.
I thought the Bacchus mod version was just like the color changing on the car.
I think there's a couple.
Am I wrong on that?
No, I think there's a couple.
There was one that turned itself on, and my car was green, and then I got the flip reset, and then it was pink, and I was really confused. It took me a while to figure out that was the flip reset.
But in addition to that, they have also changed flip reset, the responsibility of flip resets from the individual client to the server. So now there will be no more lag sets if you got the flip reset and the server said you didn't. However, I think that there may be a little bit of trade-off because, now like ghost touches, you could have like a phantom, flip reset because it's all that server side stuff. It's difference between the server and the client. However, I think this is a huge improvement. It's very big that the servers are going to be handling this. It should make the game run a little bit smoother. The next thing that people are up in arms about is there's a new big boost pad spawning indicator. There is now a visual cue a couple seconds in advance for the 100 boosts to spawn. Before we kind of talk about what all the issues are, Quilly, you start us off. What are your thoughts on these two changes? Changes that I don't think we're expecting or blatantly asking for right now, though the flip reset indicator is something that people have asked about for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm more indifferent on that one. I think the flip reset indicator was not necessary. I think, if anything, I feel like it's more of a detriment to the game because I feel like the mystery.
It's also toggleable, so you can turn it on
Yeah,
or off as you choose.
yeah, but I think anything that's like benefiting that hard on like a higher end level is like just a little bit unfair, just like a mild bit. I feel like this is close to when everyone's the new meta in Fortnite, like it started out regular Fortnite and then sound indicators became a thing. You could hear footsteps from like or not you could see footsteps, so you know where people are coming from, you can see where chests and stuff are. I think it's obviously implemented to help newer players, or I think it's helped for like deaf players and stuff, but it's been implemented in a way that everyone's using it now because it just makes the game easier. I feel like it's a closer comparison to that, that it's just helping, or it's helping more than it should be, but I don't think it was necessary. But if it's going to help new players come in and learn, I don't think they're going to be learning flip resets that fast to be needing it, but I think it'll help. I think it's a better thing in practice offline, but that's just my opinion on it. The boost pad spawning thing, I think that's going to make for more boost stealing because when you're rotating out, if you look into a corner on the other team and you see no boost there, assuming you have a brain, you're not going to go chase it. You're not going to go after the boost.
You flick your camera away.
Yes. Me with no brain, I'm going after that boost and I'm waiting for it to spawn. But say if you're rotating out of your opponent's side and you see that little gray thing popping up and no one's near it, you can go. Now you have the inkling to go steal that boost. So it's going to lead to, I think, a little bit more than that. Then I'm going to go steal that boost regardless, even if it's gray or not. You know, so I can't really say much on the matter. But I think these are like the situations that both of these things are going to be more utilized in than anything. But yeah, no, I think it's just a more of an ease of life thing. I think that one's closer to um, the having your teammates boost at all times. I think it's just quality of life more than anything. So it's not too bad to the thing, but yeah, it's definitely adds a new aspect to the game.
Brad, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same mind. I think this is obviously more catered towards the casual player base than it is any of the more competitive. Like, we're not going to see this affect the pro scene that often, if at all. Realistically, they all have this stuff memorized. They have this down pack. Like, they knew if they when they had a reset and when they didn't. Like, they knew when a boost was going to be strong because they've played the game so much. They have that timing down their head. Will we see that maybe affect some sort of a skill rise from maybe the lower level of the player base? Then absolutely. But you know, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm going to give props to Rocket League and Epic, but this could be a bit of them taking advantage of the new player base that has been coming to Rocket League. With a lot of the
Thank you,
publicity
Jinxie.
that's been getting with Jinxie, especially, Moist Critical came back and watched the Boston Major as well. I mean, like, we're starting to get a lot more of that player base coming back. So new players are coming back, are joining the game, or players that maybe quit are now coming back to the game. This is something that will help those players and will allow them to continue to enjoy the game because it's one less thing that they have to try to put hours and hours into memorizing, to learning, and it's that kind of assist. It will get to a point where they won't really use that at all, and it's just going to become second nature. But to help that, uh, I can't even think of the word I'm trying to think, to help that comfortability with it. I think it's a good change there. I don't. There's not really any detriments to it. The people that are complaining about this are just complaining to complain, in my opinion. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing bad about it. Oh no, you're telling me that it's a little easier for people to play the game? Oh no, whatever will we do?
I mean,
As the person complaining, can vouch on being whiny.
but like, I mean, like, really, the biggest argument, at least that I've seen online, right, from pros and like pro adjacent and content creators and stuff, is that it lowers the skill ceiling a little bit. Like, it takes less skill to do the things that like people are already doing, right? But like, what percentage of the player base is pros?
It's like Rocket League, arguably, has the highest skill ceiling in all of esports.
In all of video
Arguably,
games,
in all of video games.
potentially.
I think it's okay if the skill ceiling gets down a little bit.
I mean, and I see it less as the skill ceiling coming down because they're still discovering new mechanics and
Yeah.
stuff. You're just
The floor
lowering the
just goes up.
barrier to entry.
Yes.
So like,
Absolutely.
if the visual cues for the big boosts help, I'm gonna make it up, right? A silver player learn how much time, perfect. That's the goal. That's the point. Also coming at it from a, a viewer of RLCS, right? How many times on the broadcast, like on the main broadcast, right, where you're shifting from player to player, do you not see the big boost get taken just because of the camera angle or the way the camera is at the time? But with the visual cues, you might be able to tell, like, oh, this boost is about to spawn. Like, is he going to steal it, or are these guys going to be able to secure their own boost and break out? Like, I think it could add a different, viewer perspective for flip resets as well, right? Knowing if they have it or if they don't.
Say devil's advocate on the boost spawn. I will say I feel like this is going to add to horrible rotations because I feel like
100%.
rather than taking the small boost path, you're going to say, "Oh, that's gray over there. Go all the way out of my way to get this 100 boost now." And this will lead to some bad rotations based off of ooh shiny.
I'm sure.
From
I
the
go for the
bottom,
100 boost regardless of if it's there or not. I will admit that. I'm admitting that completely.
imagine if they added indicators for the small pads too. I think that's where we had the biggest riot. Was if they added indicators for every boost pad.
Those are there like every. It's
It
not like a
turns into a
5-second
light show.
respawn. There's no.
I think it's three. I think it's
like
3 seconds. Yeah,
it's like
I think it's
3
even
seconds
less.
or
Yeah,
something.
9 for the big and 3 for the small, I believe. But yeah,
I
no,
thought it
it's.
was 5 and 10. I don't even know.
But hey, like my big thing is, like, the pros already know, like, it's not really going to affect their game, right? SSL GC players already know, they're already there.
If you're that upset by it, it's a video game, dude.
Go complain about something else. That, like, I mean,
But go complain about the topic we're about to talk about. Absolutely, go complain about this. Keep
Yeah.
complaining about it. Actually,
so that's a good transition. So
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're trying to make problems to try to divert from other problems. Similar. Never mind. Not gonna play.
So, Rocket League News tweeted, a Surfshark study shows that Rocket League is now the second most targeted game by cheat providers, coming just after Call of Duty. So it shows average monthly cheat related searches per 1,000 players. Call of Duty sits at 66, Rocket League at 59, Rainbow Six at 53, and then so on and so forth down the line. So, again, almost every pro player and content creator is complaining about bots and DDoSers. So it comes back to, is there enough communication from Epic? Is the communication on this a bad thing, right? Like, are we bringing more attention to the issue by continuing to complain about it and bring it up? Could Epic be doing more behind the scenes, or are they already doing things behind the scenes? Will easy anti-cheat even help? And, like, where do we go from here, right? Like, those are the big questions. So first and foremost, like, with as much as people are complaining, with as much as it is becoming a rampant issue, especially in the top 100 players as you move towards, the peak of the mountain, so to speak, is there enough communication from Epic?
no.
Communication from Epic. We've got like
What
2 messages.
What communication? Genuinely, what communication? It's getting to a point where almost 100% of the pro player base is complaining about bots. You have bots in every rank up to like almost like probably like diamond at this point. Even like that's when the accounts first start. Like, and it's bad. Like you have content creators coming in and saying, I can't make a video about ranked because it's only bots. There was I was watching a clip the other day of oh gosh, who was it? I think it was KDOP. It was there's another EU former pro that I was watching where he had a counter, and it was how many games he played and how many were bot. He was on game 23 of the session, and he had played 19 straight games of bot. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. And you can't say, oh, it's because the player base is small. It's not. It's not
over
small.
1 million concurrent players.
It's actually the biggest it's ever been. So how is this still an issue? It just blows my mind. Like there's like at the the easiest thing you could do, and other games have done this, is have some form of, whether it's moderators or some trusted associates within the scene that have some form of ban perms. Because it's not like they're hiding it. It's not like they're like, oh, I'm trying to be sneaky about my cheating. No, it's pretty blatant. It's pretty blatant. Um, and it just makes no sense. Like at the very at the very 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 least, say something besides, hey, yeah, it exists. Like there's been stuff like some of the Rocket League pros have been talking about, how Fortnite, like with when it comes to Epic and Fortnite, they're very on top of, cheating and DDoSing there. So why is that not the same case for Epic and Rocket League? It's the same company. What is the difference? It just doesn't make any sense. Like I understand they have said they are working on it with easy anti-cheat, you know, RIP Bacchus mod for it. But like the confidence I have in easy anti-cheat working to the degree that they think it's gonna work is not high. Not at all.
I
Pretty
mean,
sure it's already reported that they already have the workaround for easy anti-cheat, which
But
is right.
maybe the implementation of easy anti cheat allows for like for easier like banning or like quicker banning, but like hey, we will never know. And I I do agree with both of you on this. I do think that there needs to be more communication. However, just for the sake of playing devil's advocate, someone will have to do it. So, and the biggest argument, in my opinion, against the communication is, does the fact that the game publisher or the the game owner now, right, is posting about how big of an issue cheating is, right? That's what they did when we got the communication from them at the beginning of this year. Like, hey, we know it's a problem. Hey, we recognize that it's an issue. We're working on it. We promise. But like, basically, this is what they're doing, and we can't stop it right now. Like, we're trying, but we can't stay ahead of it. So, like, is the fact that they've communicated this so publicly and so blatantly, is this making it a bigger target? Like, oh shit, well, it's so easy to cheat in Rocket League now. Like, we may as well just do that, right? Because we can.
I think there's definitely better ways to go about it because, like, for the most recent things going on, like Embark Studios, they are the creators of Arc Raiders. They are on top of giving out numbers to how many people they are banning actively. They are giving out, they're giving you your stuff back when you die in raids to players that are cheating. They are like, you're not getting your MMR back if you're getting botted or DDoS. The most you get is a message when you get like a hey, we did something about it when you report someone for chat abuse or something. That's like the most you'll ever get is from feedback. I feel like there could be a little bit more um, discourse between us to the big brother up there because I feel like they're capable of handling things like this. They're $1 billion company. I feel like if like they're trying to improve quality of life with these updates, but the quality of life is already horrible because the game's not playable. So like what I will say, me and my diamond lobbies, I don't think I've ever ran into a bot, so I can. I'm arguing from a distance. I'm arguing on the behalf of the good players. um, I'd imagine it sucks though. Like if I had to get on and I'm literally like as you said, 19 straight out of 23 games is diabolical. To like play a bot, not human beings. So I don't know what's going on. Obviously, I don't work for them, so I don't understand the ins and outs. But like the lack of like any acknowledgement consistently, because I think we've gotten 2 total messages about DDoSers, not even bots. I don't think they've said anything about bots yet, just DDoSers. I
Yeah.
think it just needs a little bit more communication with the community if they want to keep our like attention or like our our trust, for lack of a better word. Um, but yeah, that's my 2 cents on it.
I mean, also, like, I feel like they're in discords with people from Epic, right? Like, all the pros are in discords with people from Epic. The content creators who, like, get to team stream and do streams from the event, they're talking to Epic as well. I think there's a way to do communication um, without publicly doing it, right? And because like if you have like if Alpha, I mean, I'm not saying that Alpha Cap is the right one, but like if Cap, if Coconut, if Vatira, if KDOP, if they're all getting information like, hey, here's what we're doing, like we're really trying, like we promise we're doing stuff behind the scenes, we just don't want it to be public. Like if they stop tweeting about it, like that doesn't mean that it's going away. It just means that like maybe they're doing something about it.
Yeah,
So
I do remember a tweet from Joyo specifically. I believe if I'm pretty sure it was Joyo because he kept getting at, or people are like shooting a messages like, "Hey, Why aren't you like tweeting at or constantly saying something about this? And that's when they said, we are in Discord servers with them. We message them actively and they just straight up air us out. There is nothing we can do that we haven't already tried. It's it's just like no communication at any point. I don't know what the next step is, but
No, and
I feel like a Rocket League is dead. Hashtag might be coming back.
and again, like I agree with you, and I think that they should be doing more than they are, or at least explaining to the people who are important what they're doing. Like the people that run that are the reason your esport is so successful. But you know, I would say that the public display of communication, at least until they have like a full solution, is probably not coming. However, also maybe they're just not doing anything because they're like, okay, well we're gonna, because I mean Lethamir and some other people have really said like they could have announced UE5 at Worlds last year, but they didn't. So maybe they're still trying to polish some stuff off for that to announce it this year, and then they're like, okay, well the botting isn't going to be a problem on UE5 because we'll be able to do this, this, and this. So like as long as we can just like finish out the rest of this RLCS season, then like it's not a problem anymore. I don't know. So it's a touchy situation. It's tough to know what the right thing to do is, but that's what I got. That's really the only kind of defense that I can muster for them. But again, I was just playing devil's advocate. I do agree that there should be more communication. That's something that we've banged the drum for consistently since this podcast began. So
Yeah, it's genuinely it's disappointing that we still have to keep talking about communication being the issue. You would think that it'd be figured out by now.
you'd hope that it
Some
would.
other fun facts about this bot issue. There's some other posts I saw about this, but they did the math on it. Roughly 0.06% of players have searched for cheats. Uh, Only 0.01% of duos have hit SSL, like actual bot duos. 0.01% of solos and 0% of trios. There are likely more bots that currently play Rocket League than there are SSLs in the game. Let that sink in.
Seems about right.
That sink's knocking right now. Let that sink in right now.
That sink broke that door down.
I think I saw a thing that, what is it? Rocket League's the second most currently cheated game in all of video games,
Yeah.
only behind Call of Duty.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
that
what
we
you
were just
mentioned
talking
at the
about it.
beginning in
Yeah.
that tweet.
Oh yeah, my bad. I completely. But like
It's
the
still
fact
unreal.
we went from being like a game where everyone was like, "There's no way you could cheat in this," to like, "Please make the cheating stop." The absolute turnaround. Diabolical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, the last thing that we got for today's episode is the rewards were announced for season 21. Um, it's player banners again with like a fractal design, and then like the color and the rank logo on the far right. Kind of another reskin, another not amazing reward for yet again, but hey, you get your titles if you get to GC or you get to SSL. So that's really what the point is now.
The bot one that Frantic said, "Will bots get this one?"
Oh,
It's one with the
no.
little the cheating logo on it.
Oh no.
Yeah, like I don't know. It also feels like the Rocket League Twitter account just keeps digging themselves a deeper and deeper hole every time they refuse to acknowledge the bots. Like every time they post another medic, season reward, any other sort of marketing bit, it's like you look at the comments. The only comments are just, "Are you going to acknowledge bots? Are you going to acknowledge the bot issue? Say something about the bot issue." It's just
Or
like,
bring
come
back
on.
trading.
Or bring back trading. But like also like I can't remember the last time we had a good end of season reward. I'll be so honest. Who like come on.
The decals,
It's
I
not
think,
that
was
hard.
the last one.
I
And
was like,
even
"Can
then,
we use?
and
Can
even
we
then,
leave
there
this?"
was only some of the decals were good.
I've
They just
I've come up with a new cool question. What would be a good drop reward?
something simple. It has been shown across the Rocket League fashion industry that simplicity is key. They want something sleek, they want something smooth, but something that isn't going to make me, flashbang me while I'm playing Rocket League. Keep it that way. They don't need the
Talking about
flashy stuff. They
You
want it
mean
just to
the,
look nice.
that chrome bronze decal every season on repeat
Uh-huh.
didn't do it for you?
Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, the like notable like ones that I'm like I hate. Like, I think everyone hated. You remember those wheels? You remember the terrible end of
Didn't they
season
have like
reward wheels they had? They
spikes
had like
on them?
spikes and stuff on them. Like, who is ever gonna use these?
Just make it like DC's, or like a wheel like
Yeah,
DC's, but instead of it being a solid color, make it the color of your rank.
color your
Done.
rank. You could add if you really want to get a little creative. You don't want to push it too crazy. Maybe you can make it a little like chromatic or some sort of gradient where it shifts, but it can't be. Don't want to be too flashy.
Like
That is the issue.
like
Is
an
you don't,
anodized
you
Cristiano wheel.
you don't want it to be flashy. Flashy is bad.
I think the main problem is that they keep focusing on putting the logo of the rank into everything. And like you said, simplicity. If they just focused on just using the color, because like the platinum color usually looks cool. It's a nice blue. But like
If you
it's
need to put
attached with the platinum logo. So like it's automatically like, why would I put this on my car?
Yeah, I think you're right. I was gonna say, like, if you're so dialed into needing to have the logo, then just put it like. I mean, if you look at any like car tire normally, like the company logo is like in the middle, but it's like really small, of like in like where the axle goes. Put it there. Make it static. Don't make it all. Don't like, but make the color the focal point, because there are cars that I have in my presets where like the bronze color would look really good with it, but not if it has the bronze logo everywhere.
To piggyback off that, Quilly question 2.0, of the ranks in Rocket League, which color is the worst? I have two that I could choose, but
I'm
I'm
honestly
curious to
between
your guys'
gold or
thoughts.
silver.
Really?
Or maybe bronze. Bronze is a little bit poopy.
Personally,
Silver,
myself,
Grand
I'm not
Champ.
a fan of the Grand Champ color. Yeah,
Me
the
neither.
Grand Champ color. I'm not a fan of the red of the Grand Champ, which shocking to say, I know.
I was gonna.
But
This is insane work
okay,
from you.
at the same time, I feel like I should know what a good color of red is. But I'm not a fan of it. Like I remember trying to like make some presets with that Grand Champ color, and there's not a lot.
Mm-mm.
It just does not work well.
I also, it kind of bothers me that it doesn't go by like color gradient, right? Like not like rainbow like primary color order, which is a little bit annoying. But that's a topic for a different day, because we are so far locked into these colors. It's not even funny. Bring back the vegetable. Bring back the vegetable.
The April Fool's ones.
Yeah.
Yo, wait, when we get in Emerald,
Honestly, that
give me
would
that
be a
clickbait.
sick.
Give me
That'd be
that
a sick
clickbait.
reward idea if they just like did
the
that.
like that actually would be really sick to
The
bring back the
veggies.
vegetable stuff.
Yeah, just because then that's something completely different from what we're getting. We don't need something to say, "Hey, I was in Grand Champ." If you're playing in that rank, everyone knows that's your rank. You don't need to shove it down everyone's metaphorical exhaust pipes.
This is
See what
true.
it takes.
This is true. But anything else that anybody wants to add before we wrap up for today?
My actual Cooley question for all your coziness after the trip: what is your cozy clothing of choice? Mine is always sweatpants and a sweatshirt. Oh,
I was
actually,
like,
sweatpants and a Q-zip
Not
I was
specifically.
the
like,
Q-zip.
I love me a Q-zip.
I was like, you're looking at it right now. It is the not baggy, but like the like fleece like thick sweatpants, but with the ankle tight sweatpants. I don't like the
Like
baggy
joggers.
sweatpants. I like joggers, yeah, like jogger type beat. Give me a nice soft hoodie, um, and then it could be a t-shirt or a long sleeve underneath. It doesn't really matter. Like just the hoodie sweatshirt combo goes unmatched.
I would say ultimate, like the flannel pajama pants. I'm big on the. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then normally I would just say like a sweatshirt, because that's what my normal go-to is. But I mean, and again, and they don't sponsor us, and they're not paying for it. But damn it, this power fleece sweatshirt is so nice and comfy. It's fleece on the outside and on the inside. Like here, I'm gonna stand up. The
Oop.
the pocket zip It's cool. It's minimal. It says power on it. It's this. This is the most comfy thing that I own right now, I think.
I forced myself to like wash it and take it off my body because I was just wearing it that much. I was like, this needs to get off of me right now. This sweatshirt is too comfy. I'm living in it.
That's how I feel about this hoodie. The RLCS hoodie is so nice.
Mm. Yeah, no, I'm strictly a sweatpants, same type of sweat. Maybe not like thick sweatpants, but like medium with the cut and but quarter zip, a nice quarter zip, just a nice level of cozy.
Now I will say, come summertime, it gets really hot, right? Obviously, sweatpants may not be the move. Got to get yourself some nice, like not like pajama shorts, but like that soft kind of like
Like the sweatpants
soft,
shorts.
yeah,
Sweat
like
shorts.
sweat shorts, yeah, like sweat shorts, yeah, like those. But there's like a good comfy t-shirt. Oh yeah, way to go.
I'm trying to think of the company. I have a specific pair of like light blue ones. I will die in those things in the summer mainly because it's 5 million degrees. If I'm not wearing anything because I'm dying, I'm wearing those shorts.
And if you're dying, you got to eat your taco.
Bro, good callback. Good callback. That will be the last thing I do if I ever get in a final destination situation. I'm eating that. I don't want to say eating that taco. Eating a taco.
Pause. Pause.
I caught it before I got there.
But with that, I think that's a great time to end the episode. We'd like to thank you all so much for listening. We'd like to remind everyone that this podcast is proudly brought to you by our name level supporters on Patreon, Alyssa B. Please remember to rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts. Share the show, tell a friend. It all helps us grow our audience and improve the show. Come follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Twitch, which we're currently live recording on right now. Come join our Discord. Come talk some ball. It's a good time. Make sure to support us by checking out our merch store and our Patreon. This is how we fund the show, and we will do giveaways there as well. All of these links and more can be found on our website at boostoverball.com. And from us here on the show, as always, remember to choose Boost over Ball. See ya.